Okay, welcome. In this video, we're going to be testing out some UI designs with AI. AI is always improving, so it's really interesting to see how far it's come. So for this exercise, I have designed a sample logo and stationery for a fictitious company. Then I provided some AI tools with the link to the SV images of the logo and the card from which to base the design of a website on. So I'm looking for the best design from a simple prompt from free or free trial tools. So my testing criteria was that it must be free without credit card sign up, it must provide an AI chat interface, and it should be given only one prompt. So starting with magic patterns, I provided this prompt, which is actually a really bad prompt, but I wanted to test the results. It says here using HTML, so I added that to my prompt, but it wasn't provided in the output. So this was the result, very generic layout, and the color was not consistent with the images. For this particular example, I did give it a second prompt, so I provided it with the brand color, and it updated the color. There are a few other issues with the design, one being the company name wasn't in the header, although it did provide the requested layouts nicely, and it gave a good feel of how the website would look and behave in a browser. And you can share or download the code. Now with Claude, I gave the same prompt, and the first iteration gave a better color scheme. However, the app crashed, so I lost it. Here is what I got for the second time. Again, they all have a very similar layout, and the color scheme does not suit the logo. Claude only provided the first page, because maybe I've used up all my credits. I also gave DeepSeek the same prompt. So again, a very generic layout. DeepSeek produced the first page but stopped mid-second page as I probably ran out of credits. So just to compare them so far, they honestly all look very similar. So at the moment, if you're interested in a very generic looking website, then free sites like Wix or WordPress are the best options at the moment, as the code doesn't need fixing. Unless, of course, you need payment facilities or other special features, which you will pay extra for in the long run. So as for our AI results, they all had some really good design features, but I think DeepSeek gave the best overall results, and it was the most thorough with regard to content and images. It was the only one which included a legible name in the header. Claude had the first best iteration, I think, when it worked. DeepSeek and Claude honoured the coding output request. However, Magic Patterns had great sharing features for collaboration on a prototype. So I did take a look at some other tools as well, but most of these, like Magic Pattern also, they have limitations when it comes to the code. If you're using any other framework like Angular or Vue or Lit, then the output code will not be compatible. So here we have UIZ. Now, of course, these were all given the same prompts. Then we have Mock Plus, Replit, Hostinger, Polymet, and Lovable. And now for some other examples which I was also playing around with. We have from Gemini, we have their version of our gardening blog and a 3D animation for a 4.0 page using CSS. By Meta, we have a QR code generator, which needs debugging, and their version of the 404 page. From Grok, we have a seafood restaurant website and the 404 page. From ChatGPT, we have a mock video call and their version of the 404 page. From Perplexity, we have a real estate site and a mock video call. From Claude, we have their version of a gardening blog, an animated software page, and the 404 animation. And from DeepSeek, we have a study tracker with dark mode, a shopping site with a checkout page, their version of a gardening blog, and a site for language courses. So when it came to functionality, we tried out an SVG editor. Magic Patterns produced the best design with some functionality working for basic shapes. DeepSeek also has some functionality for basic shapes, but the design was not as good as Magic Patterns. And Perplexity needs work on the design, and the basic shapes don't work. However, the polyline and curve had some functionality, whereas they didn't work at all in the other examples. and some models refused to respond at all, while some cut off mid-response. And they all had errors. There was no response that did not need fixing or adjusting in some manner, and in some cases the functions did not work. Now, although with the correct prompts, the most issues could likely be fixed if you used more credits, and some of the models I tried do not give access to their best models unless paying for the premium memberships, and some cut off the responses after a certain amount of characters, so there are better models that I was unable to test for free. And of course, with more specific step-by-step prompts, you're more likely to get exactly what you require. So I hope you enjoyed sharing my exploration with designing with AI. And if you know of any other AI tools that assist with designing and coding user interfaces, UI, then please share them with us in the comments. And thanks for watching.